Tonight on To The Point, the city of Sacramento orders Camp Resolution to shut down, leaving many unhoused scrambling to find a new place to live.
That's a nightmare. That's very scary.
We'll tell you what happens next. Terrifying moments as a tow truck tries to take a moving car with people inside.
Basically rolling down our window saying like, hey, like, what are you doing? You can't be doing that.
What we're learning about the company involved.
Starting to see that and feel that transition into our colder, wetter weather. Our low pressure system moving in off the coast. New timing on when it arrives and how much rain and snow it's bringing.
And later on the back roads, we go cross-country skiing on a once-forgotten Olympic trail. Thank you for ending your week with us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. People living in the self-governing homeless encampment called Camp Resolution, they have until May 16th to leave. And that's because Sacramento City officials plan to take back the Colfax Street site. Now, you may remember the camp started back in 2022 by Sharon and Joyce Jones, a married couple in their 50s who found themselves homeless for the first time late in life. More than 4 dozen people now live there, and Camp Resolution residents formed the group Safe Ground Sacramento to oversee the encampment. In a letter, the city told the group to leave by May 16th and deliver the Colfax Street site back to the city by June 1st. The city says that's when the property designated as a safe parking site expires. Our Roxanne Elias went to the camp today to see how residents are responding.
At Camp Resolution on Colfax Street near Arden Way, residents are already scrambling to pack up their items as Sacramento City officials plan to shut it down.
That's a nightmare. That's very scary. So I'm really stressed out right now, worried. So I'm like, I don't know what I'd do.
Danielle Wild, who didn't want to show her face, has lived here for 2 years. She's trying to get back on her feet, but feels she's back to square one if she has to pick up and leave. In a letter from the city to Safe Ground Sacramento, it asks that personal property and people be moved by May 16th.
They claim that there's some kind of hazardous outgassing of substances resulting from previous use of the property, and that it's dangerous for people to live there, but it's more dangerous for them to be living on the streets, frankly.
Mark Marin says the nonprofit is working with the Sacramento Homeless Union to fight the closure of the self-governing camp. He says it's either going to be a court battle, a political battle, or just a plain battle moving forward. But it all depends on what the people living on the lot want to do.
I think what may happen, really, if the Sacramento Homeless Union wants to do it, is that they'll fight to continue the lease, or they'll fight to get the benefits under the lease, which is essentially housing. They want housing, as does everybody.
One advocate even suggests moving the camp to a different location.
If this place isn't working for them, find another place. We have the Arc Arena, we have Cal Expo, it's empty.
But according to the Sacramento Homeless Union, the city has not provided any alternative to where they'll go. Camp Resolution is primarily populated with people with disabilities, older people, and women. Closing the site is a step in the wrong direction for people like Wild, who fear she'll have to live in an unsafe place.
People get killed, their stuff took, vandalized, like, man, burned down. It's just terrible. All kinds of stuff happen to women out here.
Now, we reached out to the city for a comment on the camp's closure. They responded in a statement saying, in part, quote, the city has met with Safe Ground Sacramento leadership to discuss the possibility of a new safe parking site. The city will share more information as soon as it becomes available. And we also reached out to the Central Valley Regional Water Board that owns the land. They responded saying, in part, quote, we understand that enforcement of the variance conditions was difficult for both the city and the occupants of the site, and respect the city's decision to close the safe parking site. The district attorney also weighed in after saying that he believes Camp Resolution should be shut down. So we will have his statement posted on our website, abc10.com. All right, new tonight, the Supreme Court has handed down a legal victory for an El Dorado County man. We first brought you this story back in January. George Sheets and his wife bought 10 acres of land outside of Placerville back in 2016 and planned to install a manufactured home. He went to get a building permit, and after putting a deposit down, the county charged him more than $23,000 for what was then called a traffic impact mitigation fee. Sheets fought the fee and lost. He later took the county to court where he lost. So then he went to the Supreme Court, and the justices sided with Sheets that the building permits should be under extra scrutiny, and the case is now headed back to the state court for further review. Two teens have been arrested in connection to a carjacking that happened last month. It followed a deadly shooting at a Sac RT light rail station on March 21st. The car was ditched in a Sacramento State parking lot near the American River. The Sacramento Police Department says a 16-year-old and 17-year-old were booked into juvenile hall, and police say the two teens are also suspects in the homicide, but they only had enough evidence to arrest them for the carjacking. It will be up to the district attorney's office whether to charge them with homicide. 17 fraudulent EBT cards and 19 gift cards. That's exactly what the Placer County deputies found on a man that they say was trying to commit fraud. It all happened back on April 1st. Deputies say they got a call of a person trying to commit fraud at a Wells Fargo in North Auburn, and then later again at a Bank of America. There they found 39-year-old Bogdan Drapik, who had several cards that deputies believe had personal information of victims. Drapik was arrested and booked on suspicion of fraud. Now, we know EBT theft is a multi-million-dollar issue in California, and taxpayers, we foot the bill for it. In 2023 alone, Sacramento County reimbursed EBT recipients over $12.5 million, which is why we investigated the increase of EBT theft by speaking to state and local officials about their efforts to prevent it. So if you want to watch our full investigation, it's on our website right now, abc10.com/to-the-point. Tonight, one person is dead and at least 16 others are hurt after officials say a man stole an 18-wheeler truck and intentionally drove it into a Texas Department of Public Safety office. This all happening in a rural town called Brennan, Texas, about 75 miles west of Houston. You can see a large red tractor trailer hauling material near a gaping hole in the building entrance. The man accused of the crash is in custody. No word yet on a possible motive. House Speaker Mike Johnson has pushed through the renewal of a powerful national security surveillance program. It allows the U.S. intelligence agencies to collect the communications of foreign nationals without a warrant. It sometimes collects data on Americans who interact with persons of interest, and the FBI calls the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, also known as FISA, critical to the security of all Americans, especially in the fight against terrorism.
Our most immediate concern has been that individuals or small groups will draw some kind of twisted inspiration from the events in the Middle East to carry out attacks here at home.
The House still needs to vote on whether to reconsider the legislation, which is expected to come next week. The deadline to reauthorize the FISA law before it lapses is next Friday. Still ahead onto the point, we have shocking video that shows a tow truck trying to take a moving car, how the couple inside is responding, and the new details on the towing company.
We are in that transition zone as we start to see more cloud cover, rain moving in just off the coast, how it impacts our weekend forecast.
And later on the back roads, we take you to Sugar Pine Point to see a piece of Olympic history lost and found in California.
This is the birthplace of Olympic biathlon.
The winds are changing. Our forecast is going to look a little different as we get closer to the weekend.
I know. In the next 24 hours, we're going to be talking rain, much cooler weather, as well as the breezy conditions continuing as well. Highs today markedly different from yesterday, where we saw the warmest day of the year so far, only reaching 60s and 70s region-wide from the coast all the way up into the Sierra, where we saw some showers. Now, tonight, still beautiful for that evening walk, periodically breezy. Temperatures fall quickly. Overnight low at 48 degrees, and the rain is on the move. A look at that low pressure system just off the coast is starting to move our way. A chance of thunderstorms tonight through tomorrow. Rain totals are on the higher end of things, that going up in the last 24 hours, but the snow totals are coming down a little bit. As far as our peak wind gusts today, about 30 to 35 miles per hour in the valley, closer to 40 miles per hour in the Sierra. We get another punch of those winds coming in early tomorrow as that cold front bears down. It'll stay breezy through the morning for the Sierra. Winds will start to die down for the evening, but the rain, it's going to be with us. As you can see, we've got this winter weather advisory in place for the central and southern Sierra. That'll be in play for tomorrow, with snow totals higher as we head south of 108 towards Yosemite. But for the 80-50 corridor, only about 1 to 3 inches of snow. But our snow line comes crashing down tomorrow night to about 4,000 feet. And with that cold air in place, we also have the presence of at least a chance of thunderstorms for tomorrow, with our rain totals anywhere from about a half an inch to an inch of rain coming in. And the timeline looks like this. Tonight, we'll continue with dry weather, rain moving in for tomorrow morning, and it will be on and off through the day. Snow as well. We get a bit of a break Saturday evening, but we call for that chance of rain once again coming in during Sunday afternoon, clearing out finally as we head into the evening, with our 10-day forecast showing drier and warmer weather ahead next week.
Next, on To The Point, a California couple shocked after a tow truck tries to take their car while driving. The new details about the company involved. Plus, are your hotel key cards storing your personal information? Our Verify team looks into it. And later on the back roads, we take you cross-country skiing through a once-forgotten Olympic trail. An unbelievable story tonight out of San Francisco. A tow truck caught on camera trying to drag a moving vehicle off the street with, get this, people inside the car. Luz Pena from our affiliate station looked into the towing company's history and spoke to officials about what you can do if you're ever in this situation.
It was a terrifying experience that Joanne and her husband are still processing.
We were freaking out. We were calling, we were like basically rolling down our window saying like, hey, like, what are you doing? Like, you can't be doing that.
Out of nowhere, this yellow tow truck began to back up and try to drag their vehicle while they waited at a red light in San Francisco.
He started backing up and his lever came down. And so basically he's just backing up, trying to latch onto our car.
Today, the San Francisco city attorney confirmed the towing company Specialty Towing is known to their office for violating state laws prior to this incident.
This company appears to be the same towing company that my office had previously moved to suspend and debar from receiving city contracts.
After viewing the video, city attorney Chu said the latest incident is simply illegal.
It could likely be violating a number of laws, potentially criminal laws. The fact that we have seen yet another way in which this company is violating the law, unfortunately, it's not surprising, but the video is shocking nonetheless.
Prior to this incident, the city received complaints from multiple victims who were allegedly scammed by Specialty Towing. The city then proceeded to block Specialty Towing and their other towing companies under the same ownership from working with the city on enforcing parking laws.
Specialty Towing is an affiliated company with a company called Auto Towing, so they're all essentially part of the same operation. Auto Towing had been illegally towing cars off a private lot without the permission of the property owner. On top of that, they were strictly limiting the hours during which cars could be picked up and pressuring the owners to pay in cash.
We called the towing company's phone number and the operator hung up on us. So we showed up to Auto Towing in the Bayview, searching for answers.
It's obviously closed. Let's try to call them again while we're here.
On the phone, we were told Auto Towing is no longer in business, and the person denied being connected to Specialty Towing. SFPD is now urging other victims to come forward.
And it is still unclear why that couple was targeted. They say they have filed a police report and confirmed that the car is paid off. All right, tonight in your price points, more relief for student loan borrowers. The Biden administration announced that they will forgive $7.4 billion in additional student loan debt. The money will come from the SAVE plan, which allows borrowers to pay nothing on their loans until their income rises above certain limits. However, two groups of Republican-led states have filed federal lawsuits pushing to have the plan tossed and to halt any further cancellation. They say the SAVE plan goes beyond Biden's authority and makes it harder for states to recruit employees. Summertime right around the corner, and you might be planning some extra trips. But before you book your next hotel vacation, do hotel key cards store your personal information? Casey Decker from our Verify team looks into it for you.
It's been a long time since major hotels used traditional keys. Most switched to key cards years ago. Verify viewer Terry asked, do those key cards store personal information that could be used to steal your identity? So Terry, let's verify. Our sources are Kesey, a security company, Muse, a technology company that serves hotels, and the American Hotel and Lodging Association. There are two main types of key cards, those with mag stripes and those with RFID chips. Magstripe cards typically only hold 2 pieces of information: which room it'll work on and the number of days it'll work for. Some cards will also get you into certain hotel facilities like a pool or gym, but that still only requires a room number to work. RFID cards sometimes also hold a guest ID number or a loyalty program account number. This is so the card can be used to pay for things throughout the hotel by adding them to your final bill. But your payment info isn't on the card, or even your name or phone number, just an ID number that the hotel uses to keep track of your tab. In other words, if someone stole your hotel key card, they could get into your room or maybe the hotel pool and could potentially run you up a tab for goods and services within the hotel. But that's all they can do. They can't gain access to your credit card information or steal your identity. So we can verify, no, personal information is not stored on hotel key cards. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Buckle up, it's time for another journey on the back roads. This week, John Bartel takes us for some cross-country skiing on a once-forgotten Olympic trail.
In February of 1960, the snowy mountains in the Tahoe National Forest filled with spectators. The 8th Winter Olympic Games were underway, and a brand new event was added to the lineup.
This is the birthplace of Olympic biathlon.
If you're not familiar with the history of biathlon or the sport itself, author and historian David Antonucci will gladly explain.
They had to ski and then stop and rest and shoot as accurately as they could.
I definitely need to work on my form a little here.
Yeah.
And he'll even show you the historic Olympic cross-country trail at Sugar Pine Point State Park.
How long was the biathlon?
It was 20 kilometers, interspersed with 4 shooting ranges.
A biathlon combines cross-country skiing and rifle shooting. Competitors race around a course, shooting at a series of targets.
Every missed shot adds a penalty of 2 minutes to his running time.
Yeah, there were a lot of media attention to it. It was very exciting. People didn't know quite what to expect.
David wrote the book Snowball's Chance, a historic chronicle of the 1960s Olympics. He says the biathlon was so new that a cross-country trail and shooting range had to be built specifically for it.
Unfortunately, these ranges were far from the spectator area, and the public wasn't allowed out here because of the danger from the firearms.
Only a few judges and TV crews witnessed the first Olympic biathlon.
In the name of all competitors.
When the games were all over, much of the cross-country and biathlon course had to be removed.
All of the trails and infrastructure was on private land. The landowners required them to remove everything.
The state parks eventually bought the land where the historic Olympic trails used to be. They called it Sugar Pine Point State Park, but they didn't know where the trails exactly were.
This has been lost for a long time.
It was lost until about 1998, the mid-90s, when I quote-unquote rediscovered it.
This is where David comes in. He was able to track down some historic maps of the biathlon and cross-country course, and with the help of the Sierra State Parks Foundation, those old trails were restored. Now every year, the Olympic Trail is groomed for visitors to experience completely free.
From Sugar Pine Point State Park, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
And it's your turn. If you have something you think would be a great road trip destination, make sure you let John know all about it. You can text your idea to 916-321-3310. All right, if you're looking for something to do this weekend, we got you covered with 4 options right after the break. Tens of thousands of people will be headed to Stockton this weekend as the city gets ready to host at least 4 major events in just the span of a few days. So things got off to an early start. The first event, the Cambodian New Year Festival, kicked off at around 10 a.m. today. And then next, the San Joaquin County Fairgrounds had the Asparagus Festival. They started at noon. And tomorrow, teams from at least 6 California colleges will be at the University of the Pacific for the inaugural Pacific Cup Men's Water Polo Tournament. And then there's more on Sunday. There will be an annual sick parade and festival less than a mile away from the Asparagus Festival. When all is said and done, more than 80,000 visitors are expected to head to Stockton over the weekend.
Just 24 hours in a day, so everybody gets to go wherever they want. You know, you spend a couple hours here, a couple hours there.
Now, each of those events will have their own food vendors as well. At the Asparagus Festival, they're expecting to deep fry more than 6,000 pounds of asparagus just this weekend. You can find all the details you need on our website, abc10.com. That looks pretty tasty, I have to say. All right, thank you so much for spending part of your day with us. If you have something you think we should be looking into, you already know what to do. Reach out to me and the team. Remember, strangers are people we just haven't gotten a chance to meet yet. So take some time to get to know someone. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.